The name of one Madam Koni Wakwabubi, who appeared even on the nomination list of UDA as a senator. Where the name was dropped, we never knew. Up to now, she's languishing at home. If we have to give names and go to gender, let us balance all over the country, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we passed the names here. We saw that EACC is going one direction. We have talked of this one direction. Everything, Madam Speaker. Look at this, even the Mount Kenya. When we see names going one direction all the time, Madam Speaker, we have also our 30% agreement of western part. We have seen no women from the western region. Madam Speaker, when I talk, I did not come here to represent Kenya. I came here in Parliament to represent our constituents and our region. That's why, Madam Speaker, I come here to oppose this list. And if I have to oppose, I oppose with facts. From tomorrow onward, as we appoint names here, let us see Kenya as a country. Let us draw the map of this country and balance every part and even put thoughts in every part. Madam Speaker, I'm one disappointed man, MP from Bungoma, to have seen no woman. And Madam Speaker, we have very bright women who have gone to school properly also from our sides. I want this one to be a lesson to this house. Lesson to this house. As much as we engage.
There is a point of order, Honorable
accepted, but mark my time.
It is not you to accept, Honorable Kalasinga. Point of order from Honorable Kaluma.
Honorable Speaker, under the Constitution, regional and ethnic balance of commissions is looked at when you look at all commissions cumulatively. Honorable Speaker, is Honorable Majimbo Kalasinga in order to determine regional balance, particularly representation of people of his ethnic community, based on a single commission in which only 2 members are being appointed. Yet, Honorable Speaker, if you look at even the appointments we passed before, who is Jacqueline Mwenezi? Who is Jacqueline Mwenezi? Honorable Speaker, unless this is justified and substantiated, it should be withdrawn and it should be looked at cumulatively.
It is not you to reply, Honorable Kalasinga. You had very few seconds remaining, and you have made very serious accusations. Honorable Kalasinga, take your seat. Take your seat. I will give you your time. Yeah, I will give you your time. Just hold it. There is already a point of order that has already been raised by Honorable Kaluma. What I will ask Honorable Kalasinga to do, statement of fact, because you said you are going to table facts, then it will be, as has been said by Honorable Kaluma, not just on 2 names, because 2 names cannot represent 47 counties. It will have to be factual, and you will owe that responsibility to the House. Nobody is out of order, Honorable Rahim. Nobody. The Speaker is actually talking. So you cannot possibly be challenging myself. So I'll give Honorable Kalasinga. You have a few seconds remaining. Set the record straight. It is okay. It is your right to oppose, but statement of fact.
Madam Speaker, as a statement of fact, and a fact, I am a member of Parliament for Kapchai, Madam Speaker. In this constitution of Kapchai, there is no single appointment of a woman that has taken place. If I am wrong, name one. We want Honorable Kaluma to name one woman from Kapchai. That's why I'm here, Madam Speaker. I don't come here, Madam, and I don't apologize to this, Madam Speaker. I am not apologizing.
Honorable Rahim, what is out of order?
Madam Speaker, Honorable Kalasinga should withdraw Mount Kenya in his statement because there is no Mount Kenya here. This Honorable Jaldesa is from Isiolo. She's not from Mount Kenya. So he should withdraw that all the appointments are going to Mount Kenya. He has to withdraw, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Kalasinga, you only have a few seconds. Statement of fact.
Madam Speaker, statement of fact. I want Honorable Kaluma to name one woman from Kabuchai who has been appointed. I'm here on a matter of fact, Madam Speaker. I apologize for using the word Mount Kenya. But I am not apologizing for a matter of fact. No single appointment has taken from Kabuchai, where I represent, Madam Speaker. I am here on a matter of fact. Name for me one. Name right now.
What is out of order, Honorable Kaluma?
You see, Honorable Speaker, I stood on in my place here, and I raised the issue of a misleading statement. That number one, while saying nobody from his ethnic community is in these commissions being appointed, that should be looked at cumulatively. But even in terms of National Gender and Equality Commission, Honorable Speaker, this is not the full list of the commissioners of National Gender and Equality Commission. These are just 2 being appointed. This commission has 9. The former chair was from Bungoma, and there are members from the Luya ethnic group in the current commission. So if he didn't know that, let him apologize. But I was also emphasizing, Honorable Speaker, so that we don't mislead the public that some regions are being excluded. Just this morning, we have passed Mwenesi. So he cannot run from that, Honorable Speaker. He cannot run from that, Honorable Speaker, by, going back and claiming he was talking of his constituency. If it is constituency, even my own constituency, we've never had anybody called a commissioner, leave alone in National Gender and Equality Commission. So he has to withdraw or speak in alignment with the Constitution. Yes.
Honorable Member for Kabuchai, if you are here earlier, the previous speakers had already spoken to this already. If you were listening to motion number 13, we had 8 appointees. They cannot all come from every constituency. 290 constituencies. It is not possible. So I know what you're trying to do, but kindly do not mislead the House in terms of saying these 2 should come from Kabuchai. It is not possible. But I would want us to make progress. I'll give you 30 seconds, Honorable Member, Honorable Kalasinga, because your time is up.
Honorable Speaker.
To guide the House properly.
Honorable
not
Speaker.
Mislead the House.
I want to agree with you, Honorable Speaker, but now cumulatively, Madam Speaker, all the commissions and appointments on this floor that has happened, no one has come from Kabuchai. I stand my fact, Madam Speaker, and I'm not withdrawing.
Honorable Kalasinga, we have only done 3 appointments today. So it cannot be all cumulative. That would be a misleading statement. Unless you come with the data that all commissions and all that have been passed by this House, no one is from Kabuchai, then you will withdraw that statement. If not, you will bring the statement tomorrow, Honorable Member for Kabuchai. There is nothing out of order. Member for Kabuchai.
Madam Speaker, this is a honorable House, and this honorable House must tell me what to bring here. If what I'm saying is wrong, can this House prove to me, Madam Speaker, that we have one opponent from my constituency? I'm not going to apologize, Madam Speaker. I will face the consequences, but the consequences, I will carry them on my back because of my people who elected me, Madam Speaker. We have no appointment. Even we are now, this issue of broad-based government, Madam Speaker, is what is hurting us. We want to come to the truth. This broad-based government, Madam Speaker, is eating our 30%.
Honorable
We must know this one,
what is
Madam
out of
Speaker.
order?
Madam Speaker, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Madam Speaker, we are members of parliament of this country, and this is a national parliament. Madam Speaker, people are not appointed because they are coming from specific constituencies or villages. People are appointed because they are Kenyans and they qualify, and regionally. Mr. Speaker, sorry, Madam Speaker, the member for Kabuchai knows very well the Speaker of National Assembly of Kenya comes from Kabuchai. That position alone holds so many positions, and is the 3rd in the ranking in this country. Is he in order to insist that any appointment must come from his constituency? Yet we are not complaining. Even today when they mention of Mwenesu, we know it's from our region. We accept.
Honorable Member for Kabuchai, I actually gave you instructions to withdraw a specific issue from your contribution. I will remind you, Standing Order 107A, a member commits an act of gross disorderly conduct if the member, number B, declines to explain or retract use of unparliamentary words or declines to offer apologies despite having been ordered to do so by the Speaker.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
I will expect you to do exactly as I had said on the specific matter, not everything, on the specific matter.
Madam Speaker, unless you state the specific matters, but on the matter of what I've said, I remain firm. I remain firm, Madam Speaker, that what I said, I have knowledge about it, and if there is anything that you want me to prove I've said wrong, prove to me that this is one person was from my constituency in terms of the appointments that were made on the floor of this House. Madam Speaker, I don't want to apologize, Madam Speaker, because...
What is out of order, Honorable Millie?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we are in the 16 days of activism on gender-based violence. And gender-based violence comes in many forms. You are sitting on that chair as a speaker, and you are a woman speaker. You must act with authority. My good friend, I know what he's doing, but your authority as a speaker cannot be undermined when we are here as women leaders. We will not allow. We will not allow. No.
Honorable members, I know there are people, I know Honorable Member for Kabuchai is really hoping I throw him out so that he can look like a hero in Kabuchai. I will not do that. I will not do that. I will not do that, but I will direct that you'll bring that substantiation you have said here to this House tomorrow in the afternoon. If you do not, then consequences will follow. And there is nothing else you have to add. That is guided and is so directed. Honorable members, allow me to give member for Matuga, Honorable Kasim Tandaza. Honorable Kasim has not talked on this issue.
Asante, Mheshimiwa Speaker. Ni vizuri wenzangu waweze kusoma kanuni za bunge ili wajue ni wakati gani mtu anaweza kupatiwa nafasi ya kuzungumza na ni wakati gani asipatiwe. Sijazungumzwa katika mjadala huu, kwa hivyo ni haki yangu pia na mimi kutoa maoni. Kwanza nikubaliane na ripoti ambayo imeletwa kwa uteuzi wa mwenyekiti wa Rehema Dida Jaldesa na mwanachama Michael Nzomo Mbithuka, na unga mkono hoja hiyo waweze kuteuliwa kama inavyostahili. Kuna jambo ambalo ningetaka kutilia mkazo katika utendaji kazi wa hizi kamisheni ambazo zimeteuliwa, hasa tukiangalia kamisheni mbili mtawalia na wizara inayohusika ya jinsia. Kamisheni hii ya jinsia na usawa na ile kamishena ya uwiano. Tatizo lililoko kama kinara ya walio wengi bungeni, Mheshimiwa Kimani Ichung'wah alivyotanguliza, ni kwamba majukumu yao yanatatizana katika kamisheni hizi mbili. Katika ripoti iliyotangulia hapo mwanzo ya NADCO, wananchi waliweza kutoa mapendekezo kwamba kamisheni hizi ziweze kuvunjiliwa mbali. Lakini taratibu za kuvunjilia mbali kamisheni hizi ni taratibu ndefu. Ningetoa maoni kwamba katika hili bunge tuweze kukaa na kuwapa majukumu hususan. Kila kamisheni iwe ina majukumu maalumu ambayo hayaingiliani na zile kamisheni zingine. Hili pia litaweza kutatua kwa upande mmoja lile tatizo ambalo limezungumziwa kwa kirefu kwamba kamisheni hizi hazipatiwi fedha zinazotosha. Hazitoshi fedha hizi kwa sababu wamepatiwa majukumu ambayo kila mtu anasema ni yake, na linapoenda vibaya mwingine anasema sio langu. Kwa hivyo bunge hili kwa haraka liweze kuona kwamba majukumu yao yatakuwa machache na hayaingiliani na kamishene zingine, na hapo tatizo la fedha pia litaweza kupungua. Ninaunga mkono uteuzi huu na asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipatia fursa hii.
Ona Bungusia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity also to add my voice on this matter. Madam Speaker, I will begin by congratulating the two. Actually, I know them, and I have worked with Jaldesa in the 12th Parliament, and I have got no doubt that they are going to inject the energy needed by this commission, Madam Speaker, to deliver the mandate constitutionally given to them, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I will just begin by saying that this commission is coming at a time when we are discussing issues of femicide and needs to be taken by everybody seriously, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this gender commission is supposed to reduce what we call gender disparities. And this gender doesn't mean that you forget the issues of men, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the other issue that needs to be fully canvassed by this commission is inclusion of people with disability, children, youth, and also the elderly people, Madam Speaker. We need to remind them on focusing on that issue. The other issue is marginalized groups in terms of national development must be considered by this commission, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I am lucky to be serving in in the Committee of Constitutional Implementation Oversight. And one of the chair appeared in our committee. And let us not bash this commission. It has not really been popularized to Kenyans. Most of the Kenyans are not aware whether this commission exists. We need to fund them. We need to fund them. We need to fund them, and I repeat, Madam Speaker. And if at all they are going to get that publicity needed by them.
What is out of order, Honorable Rahim?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in as much as I support Honorable Jaldesa for the chairperson, is the Honorable CNN in order to say people do not know the Gender Commission in Kenya? Is he in order to say that? But I support Honorable Jaldesa as the chairperson for this commission.
I think Honorable Rahim, what Honorable Bungusia said is that it's not very popularized to Kenyans, which is a fair statement. Continue, Honorable Bungusia.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I think you have to add me more minutes.
No, your time is still just a few seconds remaining.
Yes, I just said majority of our people don't know whether the role this commission actually play in our important country. And that is why they need to come out, even in the media, so that they can...
Honorable Atandi.
Honorable Speaker, going by the mood of the House, and that most members are in support of this motion, could I request the mover of the motion to reply? Thank you.
Honorable members, I will therefore put the question that the mover be called to reply. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Mover.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And let me begin by congratulating you for allowing a lot of members of Parliament to contribute on these appointments, and to thank members, beginning with the high-ranking members of the majority leader of this House, the Honorable Millie Odhiambo, and all the members who have contributed. And it has come out, Madam Speaker, that the only problem that this commission has is gross underfunding. And as we appoint these two, Madam Speaker, and as we begin the budget-making process, I implore on this House to be conscious about the gender-based violence currently happening in our country, and to fund this commission to meet the expectation of the members of the public and the people of Kenya. Madam Speaker, there is no doubt the capabilities of the two nominees have been spoken into by all members of parliament positively. And Madam Speaker, I'm not in doubt that with proper funding, the leadership of the Honorable Rehema Jaldesa and Michael, and the Honorable Michael, Madam Speaker, will bring new energy to this commission. With those very few remarks, Madam Speaker, I beg to reply.
Very well. We will defer the putting of the question on this particular motion, and we'll go to the next order.
Order number 16, Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable members, we may take our seats as we go to the Committee of the Whole. Honorable members, I hope the chair of the Agriculture Committee is in the House. Chair, yes, you're there. Members, we shall be dealing with the committal of Clause 8 and Clause 79 of the coffee bill. And I think we are ready to proceed.
Clause 8.
What is it, Honorable Kaluma? And you have the mic.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Chair, I have a concern. I see the chair of the committee in charge of agriculture in the House, but I'm not seeing the mover or the member who recommitted Clause 79. I don't know the problem with the House in terms of attending the Committee of the Whole House. And even in terms of the next item, assisted reproductive, I'm not seeing the chair health. So, Chair.
Well, you have actually communicated your point. Is Honorable Undo in the House? Wilberforce Undo. But
No,
I think the chair is in the House.
The mover in terms of Clause 79 was the woman for Nandi. And I'm concerned, Honorable Chair, that, particularly Clause 79 was a very serious clause, which required bigger numbers than what I'm seeing here.
Honorable Kaluma, what are you saying? You are speaking to Kenyans and the House.
I'm saying, Chair, that the House has difficulties under Standing Order 35 to proceed with the business.
Very well, Kaluma, we have heard you. You are alerting us on Standing Order 35. Very well. Order, honorable members, honorable member and chair for agriculture. A member has risen from his place, and whenever a member rises on Standing Order 35, it is as exact as it is. Let me call upon the Sergeant at Arms to ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes. I've already instructed, and therefore the Sergeant at Arms proceed and ring the quorum bell. Honorable Millie, we shall have to execute the quorum business first.
and then we shall give you a chance to speak.
Rudi tu kiasi. Kindly. Haya. Ngoja nifungue order paper.
Very well.
Proceedings this morning being the proceedings of the House that is currently facing a quorum hitch this morning. The member for Homa Bay Town, Honorable Peter Kaluma, just rose on a point of order notifying the chair that the House lacked quorum. And the chair, currently presiding over the business of the National Assembly this morning under the Committee of the Whole, has directed the Sergeant at Arms to ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes to allow for members of the National Assembly to make their way back into the chamber this morning to necessitate the House to have quorum to commence with business this morning. Before the House proceeded to the Committee of the Whole, the House was considering the nomination of nominees to the appointment, to the National Gender and Equality Commission, calling for proper funding of the National Gender and Equality Commission so that the commission executes its mandate to the expectation of Kenyans. The nominees to the Nge Commission are Honorable Rehema Dida Jaldesa as the chairperson and Honorable Michael Zomo Mbithuka as the members. The debate on that special motion for the consideration of nominees for the appointment to the National Gender and Equality Commission has already been concluded upon, but the question to be put for the members to approve the two nominees nominated by the President to serve under the Gender Commission will be put later, probably later in the day. And away from that, allow me to take you through the agenda for consideration by the House under the Committee of the Whole that is currently in place at the National Assembly. The House is set to consider the Coffee Bill, Senate Bills number 10 of the year 2023 by the leader of the majority party, who has co-sponsored the bill at the National Assembly. The other bill for consideration under the Committee of the Whole is the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bills number 61 of the year 2022 by Honorable Millie Mabona. Let's now have a look at the coffee bill. This being a bill that is originally from the Senate, but it is being co-sponsored at the National Assembly. The coffee bill is an act of Parliament seeking to provide for the establishment of the Coffee Board of Kenya and the Coffee Research and Training Institute, which will have roles of the national and the county governments. And this board will regulate development and promotion of the coffee industry for the connected purposes. The coffee bill is a bill seeking to streamline the coffee sector, ensure that there is regularization of coffee prices, to ensure that the farmer is not taken advantage of by the middlemen, and to ensure that by and large the farmer gets quality output for the quality investment that they made. The principal object of the Coffee Bill 2023 is to, among others, ensure that persons who contravene the provision of subsection 1 or commits offense in regards to issues in the coffee sector is liable to conviction and to a fine not exceeding 1 million shillings or twice the value of the coffee and the coffee product, whichever is greater, or equally that the person who contravenes the provision of subsection 1. To hear subsection 1 to refer to goes against the law that will be governing the activities in the coffee sector is also subject to imprisonment of a term not exceeding 2 years or both. The Coffee Bill 2023 also provides that the coffee and all coffee shall be stored in warehouses licensed by the respective county governments. According to the bill, a county executive committee member shall not designate premises as a coffee warehouse unless the premises have been inspected, approved, and equally licensed in accordance with the Act and any other relevant legislation. And the bill states that a licensed warehouse shall conform to the standards prescribed by the Kenya Bureau of Standards. According to the bill, which seeks to ensure or lead to the formation of a coffee board, is that the board and the county governments shall inspect the warehouses and equally monitor warehousing activities on regular basis. The Coffee Bill 2023 also states that a coffee miller who bulks a coffee shall avail information in the prescribed form to an exchange and direct settlement, a system which shall be a provider of proportions of bulked coffees for the purposes of processing payments. The board, which is set to regulate the coffee industry, and the respective county executive committee members shall separately or jointly undertake inspection regulations and ensure that there is compliance with the Act by the coffee millers. A coffee grower, according to the bill, may deliver samples not exceeding 500 grams of parchment or boni for the independent quality analysis by a laboratory before the delivery of the commercial coffee miller. The laboratory to which a sample has been submitted is also expected to report on the quality and compliance in the prescribed form. And the bill further states that a coffee miller shall remit 250 gram samples of each grade of an outturn to the board for quality analysis and matters assessment, and this is in conformity with the coffee standards. Dear viewers, we are awaiting the attainment of quorum at the National Assembly, upon which I will be handing you over back to the proceedings of the National Assembly, where the House is set to consider the proposals in the Coffee Bill, Senate Bills number 10 of the year 2023, and the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bills number 61 of the year 2023 by Honorable Millie Mabona. Well, the quorum bell is still on at the National Assembly this morning for members to come back into the chamber this morning to raise the number. But away from that, the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill is an act of Parliament seeking to provide for the regulation of the assisted reproductive technology, to prohibit certain practices in connection with assisted reproductive technology, and to establish an assisted reproductive technology directorate
Very well, we
to
have
make
the
further
forum now. We may
provisions in
proceed.
relation to children born on assisted reproductive technology processes and for the connected purposes.
Clause 8.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. Mover? Mover was Wilberforce Oundo. Not being present and not being in the House. Chair?
I can move. I was the mover.
So the Oundo one, we drop it. And then we go to the chair.
Oundo
Chair,
one is
proceed.
dropped. Yeah. Honorable Chair, I move that clause 8 be amended as per the under paper. Honorable Chair, I would like to move further amendment to the amended clause 8 because there is exclusion of 2 words and they are significant. Allow me to read the amended clause 8, which says that for purposes of this section, coffee management means the process of increasing coffee production per tree, including 2 words are missing, choice of appropriate agroecology. Choice of is missing. Determination of plant population, planting, crop husbandry, harvesting, and conveying through pulping stations. Honorable Chair, I beg.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 8 be amended as proposed by the chair. These are recommittal. It must be having interest, yes. Honorable Gichimu?
Chair, let me confirm that I had proposed an amendment to clause 8, and my concerns have already been taken care of.
Order, Honorable Gichimu. You are too early. Let's deal with the chairs first, and then we shall call you out.
Very well, Chair.
In the event there's no any other interest in this one, yes, Honorable Kaluma.
Chair, thank you, but I wanted to request the chair to explain to the House in better detail what he seeks to achieve by the recommittal of clause 8. I didn't quite get him. But this is a very important bill.
I think Honorable Kaluma is in order. Chair, please explain to the House in just 1.5 minutes.
Chair, clause 8 of the bill is on qualifications for appointment to the board, the Coffee Board of Kenya. Clause 8.1 talks of the qualification of the persons appointed under 7(1)A, E, F, and G, and these are the farmers. They must be Kenyan citizens. They should hold, in the case of the persons in 7A and so on, I'm talking about 8B2, which refers to section 7(1)E and F, a certificate in secondary education. We adopted that. And then has at least 3 years experience, preferably in management in the coffee sector. Management in the coffee sector was not defined.
Okay.
So we have brought the definition of management in the coffee sector, what we meant by management in the coffee sector.
Very well, honorable members. I now put the question that clause 8 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Now, Honorable Gichimu, you may proceed to prosecute your issue.
Thank you, Chair. I'm contented with the recommendation by the Chair. The concerns that I had raised, that those small-scale holders who be part of the board should be exempted from the having 3 years experience in the coffee sector. So I consulted the Chair that they had to define what is that experience in the coffee sector, which has already been addressed. And now I'm happy that even farming is also an experience, and those farmers will not be disadvantaged. Thank you, Chair.
Very well. Go on record that you have dropped your amendment. Honorable Gichim.
Yes.
On record that you dropped it.
I hereby drop the amendments that I had proposed under Clause 8.
Very well,
Thank you,
honorable
Chair.
members. I now put the question that Clause 8, as amended, be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 79.
I propose the question that Clause 79 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, Clause 79 proposes the qualifications of the CEO of the Coffee Research and Training Institute. The contention was the minimum qualification of a PhD. Honorable Chair, I would like to move that in the absence of the mover for the amendment, for the recommitter, I would like to move that we change the qualifications to say PhD will be an added advantage, and then everybody will be comfortable.
Honorable, no, let me propose the question first. I propose the question that Clause 79 be amended as proposed by the Chair. Honorable Kaluma.
Yes, Chair, this was a very contentious provision of the bill yesterday because the qualification for the CEO was being put to require a PhD. No CEO necessarily is not the person researching or the researcher. The CEO, Honorable Speaker, is in charge of the day-to-day administration of the institute. For research, you may require a PhD, but really CEO to limit it to a person with PhD was going to exclude so many Kenyans who would otherwise qualify to be a CEO, not necessarily also the researcher. And so I agree with the Chair, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Chair, I agree with the mover that we can have PhD as added advantage, but I wanted to request the mover to look at the clause in greater detail because still we are not clear on PhD being an added advantage to what basic minimum qualification. So maybe if he said a master's degree with a PhD as added advantage, it would be acceptable, and I would personally urge we go that direction. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Chepkonga.
Thank you very much, Chair. You know, yesterday, this matter exercised our mind.
Okay.
The Honorable Peter Kaluma thought that people with PhDs are not necessarily good managers. And since it appears that the Chair has conceded and agreed that someone with maybe a basic degree of a bachelor or a master's, but if you find one who is good, who has a PhD, it does no harm in recruiting such a person. So I support the Chair's proposal,
okay.
Chairman.
Honorable Muriu.
Thank you, Speaker. I think here we need to divorce ourselves and come to terms to the fact that as an institute of research, number one, you must have the background of research. And Mr. Speaker, on Clause B, it says clearly holds a degree in agriculture, crop science, or business administration from a university recognized in Kenya. Over and above that, Mr. Speaker, there must be a qualification that because this is a research institution, you must have the capacity to be able to lead other researchers
Senior,
Mr. Speaker,
Senior Counsel Muriu. So where are you placing it? Because we are not now debating.
What I'm trying to say, Mr. Speaker, is that the qualification for a PhD is a prerequisite for this position. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, let's listen to Honorable Kagusha.
Honorable Speaker, I think it would be in bad faith if anyone would have the thinking that someone who has a PhD is a bad manager. I mean, for you to be able to study all the way to PhD level.
Honorable Kagusha, the argument on the floor, of course, I'll be coming here. It's not that he's a bad manager.
That's okay, Honorable
but
Speaker.
Added advantage so that we increase the base for those who can qualify. Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, I think because we have very many people who have studied up to PhD level in this country, I do not think as a country we have a problem or a deficit of people who qualify for these kind of positions. You can imagine you asking a person who is not a professor to lead a university.
Very well, we have heard you.
So for that case, in that case, Honorable Speaker, I support that let us have a PhD holder.
Very well, you have pronounced yourself.
A minimum requirement.
Order, we have heard you and very clearly. Yes, Honorable Member.
Yes, Chair, I just want to support Chair of the Agriculture. Even we have got people who have done masters and are very good in report writing and administrators. Putting PhD as a compulsory issue in this matter, I think it's not necessary, but it can be an added advantage, Mr. Chair.
Given that this is a recommittal, I'll give a few more. Yes, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity to add my voice to this issue. If you look at the best practice all over the world, you don't necessarily have to have a PhD to lead an institution or research institution. So I support the Chairman of Agriculture that a PhD is an added or should be an added advantage. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Rikiri.
Mr. Speaker, I support the chairman of the committee. Mr. Speaker, that's a trip of the tongue. The chairman, I've corrected myself.
Proceed.
You are too quick to talk about the things that are not necessary.
Proceed.
I support the chairman of the committee. I was here during the deliberations, and it came out very clear. You know, Mr. Chairman, the problem that we're having is that we think that because you have so many papers, you are a very good manager. This position of the CEO is managerial responsibility and demonstration of through experience and your ability to articulate issues is what is really required as opposed to the academic qualification per se.
You have communicated and put your point finally on this. Let me give Daktari, the member, Kalumba, please. And that's the final one, then we'll put the question. You'll have a chance to decide.
Chair, when we are dealing with a research institution, we are dealing with a research institution. You must give the direction in research. And when you are dealing with the direction in research, you can't have anything less than a PhD. Because you are the boards will give direction, but who makes the minute? Who makes the proposals? Who makes the board papers that goes to the board to help the board with the direction? This country, Mr. Speaker, my chair, is suffering because the professionals have put back their hands.
We have heard you. Karoli Omondi.
Thank you. Honorable Chair, my preference would be that we retain the requirement for PhD because from my experience, we have had situations where institutions of higher learning or even research institutions headed by people who are perceived by their peers not to be eminently qualified to lead them are imposed on them, and we're having Kenya School of Law, we have had many professors. The late Professor Ogendo never went there because they perceived those who are going to teach him there to be his students. But if we cannot have the PhD, then we should replace the word added advantage with distinct. A PhD will be a distinct advantage.
Very well, Karoli. And finally, let me go back to the growers of coffee, Honorable Gichimo.
Yes. Chair,
What's your point of order, Honorable Tienda Molo?
This is a matter.
Order, Gichimu. Senior Counsel Tienda Molo is
Thank
on a
you.
point of
Thank
order.
you, Chairman. Chairman, on the substantive issue, I withhold my comments for now. But on the comment by Honorable Karoli Omondi, may the record reflect that the late Professor Okoth Ogendo actually went to the Kenya School of Law finally, and he was actually my pupil. So before he passed on, Professor Okoth Ogendo was actually an advocate of the High Court. This is a house of record, things must be set right. Thank you.
Very well, Gichimu, finally. We rest it there.
Thank you. I agree that we strike a balance, that we have someone who holds a master's degree. Minimum in the relevant field from a university recognized in Kenya. Other things like added advantage usually come in the advertisement. So once we put it there, of course, it goes without saying that someone who is higher qualified already has an advantage.
Members, we can now take it to the guillotine. And therefore, honorable members, I now put the question that clause 79 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 79 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. It's taken. Mover. Mover, please proceed.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Coffee Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2023, and its approval thereof with amendments.
Thank you, honorable members. I put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House the consideration of the Coffee Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2023, and its approval thereof with amendments. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I want to thank the members who are here up to very late in the night dealing with the Coffee Bill, and they were able to do the heavy lifting, and the fact that we have now concluded it. Honorable members, let's move to the next bill. And this is the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 61 of 2022 by Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Clause 3.
I propose the question that clause 3 be part of the bill. Mover. Chair. Okay.
Honorable Chair, I move that clause 3 be amended as per the order paper. This is this act applies to medically assisted reproductive process, whether or not the process is completed outside the human body. I think this just to clarify about the process.
I propose the question that clause 3 be amended as proposed by the chair. Honorable Kaluma.
Yes, Chair, I support that amendment as moved by the chair because it speaks clearly to the object and what is at the heart of this particular bill, and later an act of parliament if parliament were to pass it. So that I support, save to indicate that I have an additional amendment in terms of a proposed clause 3B, which I'll be moving after we pass this amendment of the committee chair.
Very well, but your amendments will fall if this one is carried. You are aware of that?
No. Chair, if you look at my proposed amendment 3A, is exactly what the chair is proposing. In 3B, I'm making an addition.
So what will fall will be your 3A?
Yes.
Very well. Honorable Kaluma, could you approach the table? This is a very important bill. Kaluma, just approach the table for 1 minute. So, Honorable Kaluma and the Chair, you'll have also to consult Honorable Kaluma. But meanwhile, we shall proceed. And Kaluma will further propose that you will have to possibly change your sitting position, because I hear you have many amendments in this one, so that you can always consult the chair. But if you are okay where you are, so be it. Honorable members, I now propose the question that clause 3 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as without opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 3 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as without opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 4.
Honorable Kaluma, what is it?
Yeah, Chair, I thought that because we are in agreement with the proposal by the chair in terms of 3, upon the passage of the chair's amendment, I would be allowed to propose a further amendment to the new clause 3 upon adoption. I'm subject to your direction on it. And maybe, Chair, let me just explain that I agree with the Chair and the mover completely in terms of that amendment, but the additional provision I was proposing to bring in terms of the application of the Act or to whom the Act applies relates to citizens, so that we are dealing with matters of infertility for citizens of Kenya and heterosexuals, so that we don't have this thing being infiltrated.
Very well, Honorable Kaluma.
By people who have otherwise chosen to be in infertile relationships.
Very well, Honorable Kaluma. Let me hear the Chair on that. What's your point of order, Honorable Meli?
Thanks, Chair. Just on a matter of procedure, that ordinarily when the Chair has moved an amendment, since it was his amendment, any further amendment to that amendment can only be done on the, while standing at his place by the Chair himself, and not the way Honorable Kaluma is moving. So procedurally, that process is wrong.
Honorable Meli, we are aware of that, and that's why I was bringing the Chair in.
Okay.
Very well. So could
Yeah,
you
but
allow
also,
the Chair?
Also, I just wanted to, could I please get the attention of the Chair? Chair, maybe just also to draw the attention of the Chair, that should you wish to adopt, the amendment of Honorable Kaluma, then could you please consider adopting it in the clear words that he said, that this process shall apply only to Kenyans? Because the way he's putting it is a bit convoluted, and it even implies that you can only go through assisted reproduction if you already have a child. Because it says, widowed or single parent Kenyans who have been certified.
Order, Honorable Meli. You are now executing it.
No, I'm just informing.
We have not yet gone there.
Sorry, Chair, maybe you are not understanding me, because if you choose for the Chair to actually move it, I just wanted to alert him that what Honorable Kaluma said kind of differs with what is in the paper.
Very well. Chair, you want to speak on this, and I want to hear you.
Chair, during the winnowing, we had agreed that this applies to only Kenyans. And I think that one we had agreed with the Honorable Kaluma and also Honorable Mili. Yeah, so I think he can do a further amendment to that. Okay.
No, Honorable Kaluma, we must make progress. You have been explaining to each other for quite some time. So I know winnowing took a long time, but for clause 3, to be specific, we are done with it. And therefore, I would really ask that Honorable Kaluma, you will do a recommittal on that particular one. He has agreed, but let's, we already put the overall question. So I want to ask you that you'll have to recommit that one at the end of it. Okay. And now that you had agreed, nobody has lost. We shall deal with it. We proceed. Yes, Kaluma, what else?
Yeah, Chair, the only thing, and I'm grateful for the opportunity because we are doing this for Kenyans in good faith, is to explain to Honorable Mili that when I say heterosexual Kenyan couples, divorced, widowed, or single parents, I'm talking of the categories which may be forced with the difficulty of infertility. I'm not excluding the fact that they're Kenyans. I'm just talking of the category to benefit within the citizenship of Kenya. And I'm saying you must have been confirmed by a person, the assisted reproductive practitioner, as being incapable of natural conception. That is what it is.
That attracts Mili. Yes, Mili. Honorable Mili.
also agree with. So actually, in a way, I agree with all Honorable Kaluma's amendments, but not the deletion that is coming with.
Okay.
So we should just add it on
Let's
top.
hear Kaluma himself, Honorable Kaluma.
Yes, Chair. In my proposal, if you look at them cumulatively, Chair, the idea of framework in 4A is what I was breaking up to be more specific. And I was saying so, Chair, and I would request the Honorable Millie to look at it. You see, the current 4A says to provide a framework for the protection and advancement of. That is why I said, if we are not deleting the protection and advancement of, so that Honorable Millie, I agree we should provide a framework for assisted reproductive. Now we remove that, and if we can be guided by the House, therefore, in terms of how to integrate this into the bill as all members counsel, I'm fine with it. Otherwise, they were just breaking up this framework. Framework around what? Prohibiting commercial surrogacy specifically, and permitting altruistic surrogacy, and doing everything incidental to those two.
Chair. But let me hear that suggestion from Millie, because we are just trying to get a middle ground. In 1 minute, Millie.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Chair, because Honorable Kaluma is seeking a deletion, what is suggesting could be adopted by the Chair as a further amendment. The reason why, if you actually look at Honorable Kaluma's amendments, they are focused on surrogacy. Surrogacy is only one small component of the bill. It's the entire bill is not about that. The entire bill is about different issues. It's about how do we store, the gametes? How do we license? How do we provide standards? So it's a framework, and that is why I don't mind if Honorable Kaluma suggested that we provide an amendment that says provide a framework for assisted reproduction technology services. I'm okay with that.
Very well. Chair.
Yeah, I'm okay. But because Honorable Kaluma was moving a deletion, he can't do it. It would have to be the Chair.
Chair has heard all of you, and that's why I'm giving him now to put everything in perspective. Chair.
Chair, thank you. I was just listening to Honorable Kaluma, and when he came before the committee, why we decided that we need to provide a framework in A, that provide a framework for the protection and advancement of assisted reproductive technology services. I think that is where we were stopping, because when we add every person, I think that is the argument Honorable Kaluma said it has to be heterosexual. Okay. So you are okay with the way it is? Yeah, I'm talking about class 4A.
Put Kaluma on record.
Okay. I think I've got
it. What we have agreed, Chair, is that we will retain the current 4A, B, C, save that in 4A, which is what I was actually amending, we delete the words the protection and advancements of, so that it reads, provide a framework for assisted reproductive technology services for every person. We, however, retain B and C, and with your guidance as the Chair, the request that was being made is that then you integrate any part of my amendments to your amendments and we move. Yeah. And Nyikala and Honorable Millie agrees.
My amendments then. Can I move my amendments so that I'll do Honorable Kaluma as a further amendment?
Very well. In fact, we can just move if
Yes.
we ask Kaluma to actually drop
His amendments.
Yeah. And let the
Then I'll
amendment be
adopt
done
them.
by the chair as you have agreed.
Yes.
It will still work for all of us. Kaluma?
Chair and honorable members, with the undertaking of the chair to bring on board my amendments and to effect the further amendment to A to make it clear and broader, I withdraw my amendments.
Very well. So that's the order we needed, and therefore now allow the chair to proceed.
Honorable Chair, in 4A, I'll delete protection and advancement so that it reads provide a framework for the assisted reproductive technology services for every person. Then I'll retain A, B, and C. And then the committee amendments as per the order paper. And then I'll do a further amendment to bring in the amendment by Honorable Kaluma, which was, just a minute. Permit altruistic surrogacy, and then prohibit surrogacy is already in that one. So I'll bring in permit altruistic surrogacy as a further amendment.
Very well, honorable members, I propose the question that clause 4A be amended as proposed. I'll take it again. I propose the question that clause 4 in totality be amended as proposed by the chair. Now that we had done the preliminaries, I proceed to put the question that clause 4 be amended as proposed. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 4 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 5.
I propose the question that clause 5 be part of the bill. Honorable Kaluma.
Chair, this is big. I don't know whether reporting will be before time, but it is an amendment which, if carried, Chair, will affect the entire part 2. And Chair, if I were to move, I'm moving that the bill be amended by deleting the entire clause 5. That clause 5 in the current bill says, subject to Section 8 of the Health Act 2017, the Cabinet Secretary shall form a directorate to be known as the Assisted Reproductive Technology Directorate. Honorable Chair, the reason as to why I'm proposing this amendment is that, number one, for the help of everybody who wants surrogacy, because this is what this bill is about, and maybe I start by clarifying that in some jurisdictions, it is called Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill. In other jurisdictions, it is merely called Assisted Reproduction Bill. In several others, it is just called Surrogacy Bill. There is nothing new. This is what surrogacy is about. But Honorable Chair, this clause proposes the establishment of a directorate. And looking at the Health Act 2017, Honorable Chair, the directorate, in terms of the functions you'll see later proposed, is largely to license the doctors, the medics who will be involved in this practice, licensing of the surrogacy clinics, providing procedures for surrogacy itself, which is a medical process, and their supervision. Looking at the act, I appeared before the committee chair, and I said we already have a body in that act called the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council, which does all that. And so I'm deleting clause 5
so that there is no need to create a directorate, but so that in later provisions, these roles would all be falling under the Kenya Medical Practitioners Dentists Council, which is already a statutory body with that mandate. I wanted to add, Chair, beyond that rationale, that if we passed a law such as this, Honorable Chair, and even the mover, you remember the position the Attorney General already took during public participation. They are waiting to do what is called, come up with a public policy on the matter. And my fear, Chair, is that if you send it back to the Cabinet Secretary with the position the government has already taken, you will have an act of parliament for which there would be no framework even in terms of this directorate, because with their position already they'll hesitate to establish it. So I was saying, for cleanliness, let us provide a law providing services for our Kenyans who cannot naturally conceive and deliver without creating directorates to do things which you already have statutory bodies duly established and improperly run to be in charge. I thank you, Chair, and I move.
Very well. I propose the question that clause 5 be amended as proposed by Honorable Kaluma. First bites, Honorable Millie, and then Daktari.
Chair, the Health Committee had actually encouraged me that we can actually use the existing body. My only challenge is that Honorable Kaluma is deleting without replacing. And if we delete without giving that mandate, even if you were to give it to a village health center, that mandate needs to lie somewhere by law. So for me to know is where is this man? I just want to indicate yet again, surrogacy is a component of this bill. The main component of this bill is not just surrogacy. There are many, many women who I have talked to when I started this process who have carried children of their own with challenges without surrogacy. So it's not about surrogacy. And if we don't provide that framework, a lot of couples being exploited. I was even learning recently when I was discussing somewhere, two very prominent people I didn't know before who are having the same problem. But if you listen to what people are telling you, because there's no proper regulation and framework, people get taken advantage of.
Very well,
and so I would want to encourage, because in any event I'm seeing our time is...
No, we are very, very much in order, Honorable Millie.
Yes, if we could...
I would give a chance to Daktari.
If we can provide that framework in law.
Honorable Jaldeso Daktari, but meanwhile, Chair, just like we did with the earlier one, be taking those notes. That's why I've looked in your direction. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think what Millie has been saying is that assisted reproductive is not surrogacy. Surrogacy, and it's good that people get it correct, surrogacy is just one component of assisted reproduction. And there are many ways that is happening, from UIU, intrauterine insemination, to many other forms. So the bill is aimed at one thing. How do we allow a woman who desires to conceive?
Daktari, are you moving this bill again?
No. So
be very precise.
But so for this bill, clause 5.
Clause 5, thank you.
For clause 5, Mr. Speaker, yes, we may not need to set up a directorate.
Good.
But we need a secretariat within the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council.
Perfect.
And it is provided by law, and it's not looked after by deletion, but altering that clause 5, so that we have a secretariat dealing with this thing housed in the...
We have heard you.
Yes.
Yes, Honorable. We are coming to you after Honorable Karoli.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I think Honorable Kaluma is right in terms of licensing. That is a preserve of the Medical Practitioners Board. But we need a repository within the Ministry of Health of all the information relating to assisted reproductive technology. We need a hub where somebody can go and get information, whether you are doing research or there's a dispute or the courts need assistance. It is the same with even adoption of children. We need one central repository, and either we call it a directorate or a
secretariat.
We need.
Okay.
Yes, but the government language is directorate.
Finally, Doctor, you know, Dr.
Chair, thank you, and I think we are doing very well on this bill.
Okay.
Because we seem to concur. Some unit is required that will keep this information, which is over and above what you'd normally have for other patients. And I think we agreed we do it in the Medical Practitioner Dentist Council, but we'll need your guidance, Chair, on how we do that, because if we just delete this, where then do we bring in the issue of the Medical Practitioner Dentist Council to do the job which we have all agreed should be done?
Thank you, Dr. Chair. And that's why I bring in the chair, and remember that has been the pet subject of Honorable Millie. No, let's hear the chair now.
Chair, when Honorable Kaluma brought this issue, initially we thought we can do it under the Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council. But after further consultations between me and the Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council and the ministry, we felt it is still the idea of which is in the, that we put it as a directorate. That is because the Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council will still have a function in terms of registration and licensing of facilities, and even determining the qualifications of who runs, whether it's an embryologist or whoever, who runs those facilities. So I think the deletion, I would urge Honorable Kaluma to drop it so that we allow the committee amendment where we retain it the way it is, that we need to have a directorate within the Ministry of Health that is solely responsible, because this is a specialized area, and there is nothing wrong with having a directorate that deals with assisted reproductive technology. Because it does not cost an extra cost, it is still just reorganization of the ministry.
We are closing ranks, Honorable Kaluma.
Chair, I appeared before the committee, and as Honorable Millie confirms, I was able to persuade all of us who were before the committee during harmonization on the need not to establish a directorate to deal with matters, the mandate of which are already given by statute to the Kenya Medical Dentists Council. And Chair, I have given good reasons for it. I'm still not persuaded. Before the chair spoke, on an amendment instead of a total deletion to clause 5 to say that the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council shall establish a secretariat to be known as the Assisted Reproductive Technology Secretariat. That way, it will then, flow. When we start creating directorate for every facet of health, Chair, you can imagine how many we are going to establish. And they also have ramifications on the finances of the state. But beyond that, my fear about establishing a whole directorate, if you then see the things being mandated not only as matters under the remit of Kenya Medical Practitioners Dentist Council, but will also be creating a structure for commercial surrogacy, which we have already prohibited. In fact, look at all jurisdictions where altruistic surrogacy is permitted. And there across the world, I appeared before the committee with an outline in terms of assisted reproduction across the world. Commercial surrogacy is prohibited because of that convention I read. Now, they don't prohibit words like directorate, commissioning parent, and I think I persuaded the committee on this because it brings the idea of commerce, not a directorate, but let us have a secretariat. A secretariat that licenses practitioners, that sets the guidelines that we are talking about here, that establishes, in my view, Chair, with clarity, the procedure for licensing and supervision of clinics, but within Kenya Medical Practitioners. Thank you, Chair.
What's your point of order, Honorable Millie? And we are constrained with time also.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think we just need to be clear that in the early amendment, we have actually outlawed commercial surrogacy. So it does not even arise. It will not arise even as we go on. But listening to what the chair said, because there's been a very consultative process. Personally, as Millie, because I'm not a medic, I really don't care where it's situated so long as there's structure and regulation. But the ministry, people are the ones who have advised. In fact, they're the ones who advised me to create a directorate. We had actually initially created a different body, and they are the ones who, but they told me they
Proceed,
didn't tell
Honorable.
Yeah, you can't have a point of order on a point of order. And Chair, they are the ones who actually advised us to come with that. But that aside, personally, I don't care. It can be put in a village directory, it can be put in a village, whatever, so long as we have something that ensures some form of regulation. So I would want to defer to the chairs because they are the experts on this issue.
Honorable Millie, thank you for those sentiments. And Honorable Kaluma, we are constrained with time. No, Honorable Kaluma, we are constrained with time. And therefore, the chair, I will hold on there. We shall actually stop there. I'll give you a chance over lunch hour to just do a tete-a-tete, because I see you are trying to make a very good law. I'm very constrained to put the question because I see the losses that will ensure, and therefore we shall end there for now. Next. Mover. Mover to report.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 61 of 2022, up to clause 4, and its approval thereof with amendments, and seek leave to sit again.
Very well. Honorable members, I put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Bill number 61 of 2022, up to clause 4, and its approval thereof with amendments, and seek leave to sit again. Will as many as without opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Honorable members, we'll start with the coffee bill. Chairperson.
Happy Mike. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the coffee bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2023, and approved the same with amendments.
Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report, and also want to request Honorable Professor Chaldesa to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Professor.
I second.
Honorable members, I therefore propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. We shall prosecute the assisted reproductive now. Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Bill number 61 of 2022, up to clause 4, and approved the same with amendments.
And the time being 1:13 p.m., this House stands adjourned until today, Wednesday, 27th November 2024 at 2:30 p.m.